Hey guys, Zach from Team Brock here, coming at you with another deck profile. This is Ritual Beasts for the new July 16th format. There's no real changes to this deck, no Trishula, so there's not much really different about the deck, but I haven't brought you a profile yet, so this is what I've been playing. For the Tamers, 3 Elder. He's the best Tamer. The loop play basically starts with this guy. If you open this plus Kanahawk or this Rampengu D-Fissure, it's extremely hard to lose the duel. So 3 Elder, he's your best guy for the Tamers. 2 Wen, she's basically Wolfbark for the Banish Zone, and if your plays are going through properly, then the Banish Zone is the place where you're more likely to be able to get monsters back as opposed to the graveyard. But I'm playing 1 Laura and 1 Zephyrinpilica for the regular Wolfbark plays from the graveyard. The reason why you play, they're the exact same, but the reason why you play one of each is because their names, you can only special once per turn. So you can special this once per turn, and you can special this once per turn. And Zephyrinpilica has more attack points, but Laura has a 2,000 defense points butt, so they're both important in their own ways. But I only play the 7 Tamers because I tend to draw them a lot. And even though I play a large number of regular Ritual Beasts, I tend to draw these a lot, so 7 is a perfect number. On to the Ritual Beasts. 3 Kanahawk. Basically your best engine. Some can argue that Rampengu is the best engine. I can agree to that to an extent. If you have Macro or D-Fissure, Rampengu is definitely the best engine, and even if you don't have one of those Floodgates, it's still arguably the best engine. But this card is just basically a 1400 body that's a Gold Sark for a Ritual Beast monster, including one of the Tamers, but you don't ever really wait to get them. You usually get them back by then. But 3 Kanahawk is really good. 3 Rampengu, arguably the best engine, if not the second best engine. Just works really well with the Floodgates. Banish a Ritual Beast from your extra deck and dump one to the graveyard from your deck with the same type. But if you have a Floodgate, like Macro or D-Fissure, that's getting banished as well. So it's really nice to send Ulti Petalfin to get that out of your deck, because you don't really want to be drawing that too often. And then I'm actually playing 3 copies of Baby Apelio. This is actually not very good. The reason why I justify playing 3 is because like I said earlier, I always draw Tamers, so I want to see a Ritual Beast along with them. This is really dead turn 1. If you can normal this alongside of an Elder, it's okay, because you can go into Ulti Kanahawk, but this guy doesn't really do anything for you turn 1. He's really good mid to late game, but he just doesn't really do anything for you in the early game. So 2 is probably a better number, but the reason that I played 3 is because in my testing and my experience with this deck, I constantly draw Tamers. So I play 3 for that reason, but 3 isn't very good. And then the last monster, I play 1 Petalfin. This is still okay. It's just really good to send. It's really versatile to send. There are often times where I either draw this, or I've already sent it once where I wish I could send it again. It's just really great to send. It's really great to banish the Ulti Petalfin, and it's really great to send this. Its other effect comes around sometimes, like if you ambush it back during your opponent's end phase and you want to use its effect to get like an Xyz or a Floodgate off the board just so you can try and win that turn, it's decent there, but I don't think I would ever consider playing 2 just because of the ability to dead draw it. But the 1 Petalfin is decent. For the spells, I'm playing 3 Upstart because it's a combo deck and it's really, really, really easy to brick. It's really easy for me to draw a bunch of Tamers, plus like, I play 1 E-Telly, so it's really easy to draw Tamers plus E-Telly, at least in my experience, that's what I've been doing. So the ability to have Tamer and a bunch of traps and then Upstart into like a Kanahawk just makes your hands much better, especially since I like going first with this deck. You want to just see as many cards as possible. And then I'm playing a bunch of 1-ups. 1 Raigeki, because the board clearing is really good. Same thing with Dark Hole. I'm not playing 2 Dark Hole, because that's just overkill, but it's a good out to certain things, and it's also a good way to push through boards and OTK, because I also play Bonds. 1 MST. I'm only playing 1 MST because Floodgates in the main are a thing, Mistake is a thing in the main, so if I can't get around them, it's just nice to know that there's an out in my deck. It's not too often you'll be drawing this when you need it, but just knowing that there is an out in your deck, it's nice to have, and you know, it's sometimes there when you need it to. And it's never really a bad card to draw one of. MST has always been kind of a bad card to draw in multiples, but if you're only running one, you'll only ever draw one. So that's the reason why I only play one. I play one Itali. It's really good if you only open like a Kanahawk or a Rampengu, but it's really bad to like waste your one special summon of that Tamer during the turn. So I think multiples is not necessary, but I still like playing the one just to have it there for more like explosive plays. One Gold Sark, this is okay. In my testing, it's been pretty good. If you have a good hand going first, or if you are going second and you have the extra card already, Gold Sark is really strong, especially going second, because if this is already in your hand and you have 6 cards, your inherent -1 you get from activating it isn't really a problem anyway, because your opponent's already -1 on you, and it just gets more things in the graveyard, in the banish zone. It makes ambush live sooner, so I like the one Gold Sark. One D-Fissure in the main. This is really good. It's good against Burning Abyss to banish their Dantes, but the materials falling off into the graveyard is still a problem. But it's also good against things like Shaddolls, and now that the list hasn't hit any of those decks, I still think this is good to main. And the one Bonds. This card's awful to draw, but if you can search it during your loop, and you've already activated a Baby Apelio once or twice, you can usually push through and activate this in battle phase for ulti guy Apelio, and usually push for game. So that's all the spells. I think it's 10 spells. Onto the traps. 3 Steeds. This is basically your Raigeki. If you set this and end your turn on a fusion, you can activate this and then chain your fusion to get 2 guys out to pop 2 monsters. And it's just really good, honestly. It's a searchable way to remove threats from your opponent's board. And 3 Ambush. This card is arguably better. I tend to search this more often than I search Steeds. If I can search one of each, then I'll get one of each, but if I can only search once for some reason, I usually grab this. This just ensures that you'll have plays for the next turn, especially if you activate this during your opponent's end phase. It doesn't give you the restriction that you can't special that Ritual Beast monster, because they can only be special summoned once. If you do it during your opponent's end phase, you can still go off during your turn and use all their effects and special summon them all. So Ambush is just incredibly good. If they ever hit anything in this deck, it'd probably be this, because this card is just essentially Geargia Gear. And then for the non-Ritual Beast stuff, I'm playing 2 Breakthrough. I would be playing 3, but I just haven't really found the room for it quite yet. But this card is just really good against like Satellar Knights and other things like that. It's just overall decent card. It's bad against Burning Abyss. You can always side it out against Burning Abyss. But Breakthrough Skill, decent card. 2 Trapstun. I know a lot of the national decks were playing this card. One of the Ritual Beast guys was playing 1, I believe. But I just like the 2, just so I can see it more often. And it's just really good to ensure your plays go through. Like your OTKs, if you Kanahawk loop with Apelios, and then you bring out, if you search for Bonds, then you bring out the ulti Apelio. And just ensuring that your plays go through is just really important, especially if you're playing against like heavy back row decks like Satellar Knights or control-based Cleafort. That's not Towers Turbo. It's just a really good card to have. I often side out 1 copy just for other things, like if I'm siding in like MST or Twister, I'll usually side one of these out and keep one of them in. But Trapstun's a pretty good card. I've enjoyed it in testing. And the 1-ofs, I'm playing 1 Macro because this card just auto wins against so many things, and Vanities and Warning. Nothing really to say there. So 40 card main deck. Onto the extra, there is one thing missing in Exciton Knight. I just don't have one at the moment. And honestly, you really only ever go into 1 Exceed in this deck. So let's just get into the extra. 3 Ulti Kanahawk. Self-explanatory, best card in the deck. When he comes out, target 2 banish Ritual Beast cards, chain his other effect to put him back in the extra deck, and then you'll get 2 guys out, plus you'll search. Just really good. The Ulti Kanahawk loop gives you like 3 searches per turn, and then you end up with a board of like Ulti Apelio and like a bunch of back row. So, and the ability to tag out is just too good, like dodging certain effects. 3 Ulti Apelio, same thing, dodge certain effects. This is your offense guy, this is your defense guy. Often you go into this guy when you're going for your OTKs. It kind of sucks he doesn't get the boost from Baby Apelio, which doesn't really make sense because this is the big version of him. But either way, he's still a 2600 beater with the Armades effect, so it's really good. 2 Ulti Petalfin, mostly just for Rampengu. You use 1 for Rampengu, so this is often banished to send the Dolphin. But sometimes I'll find myself going into this if my opponent has kind of like, if I know they have a threat in hand and I just want to sit on something in defense mode for their turn that can't be destroyed by card effects, and then if for some reason you have to tag out, you can still tag out. So oftentimes people don't read this and they'll just like Raigeki your field without reading this guy. So it's really nice to have just something to either dump with Rampengu or just to have to sit on with 2800 defense. 2 Ulti Guy Pelio. This card is just ridiculous. It just makes Rampengu plays ridiculous because you can banish this to send a Tamer. So if you open Rampengu and ambush is instantly live if they kill the Rampengu. So if they kill the Rampengu during their turn after you go first, it's fine because you can just end phase ambush, get back the Tamer you sent with this, get back the Rampengu, and during your turn activate the Rampengu and proceed to Kanahawk loop. So, and if you ever bring this guy out with Bonds, he's 3200 with a Solemn Judgment effect if you banish a Ritual Beast card from your hand. And then for the non-fusions, playing 1 Chidori, this is the card that I go into every time. I've probably gone into Castel one time, but other than Castel, this is the only thing you'll ever go into with this deck. 1 Dweller for Burning Abyss in case you ever can make it. 1 Honor, this should be the Exciton Knight, but I figured I'd just throw something in there anyway. And the 1 Castel, because Castel gets rid of things like Imperial Iron Wall that says you can't play if you're playing this deck. So that's the deck. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have a Ritual Beast list, what do you guys like? Let me know what you guys think about Gold Sark, if you like it, if you hate it. I'm on the fence about the card. So let me know. This is Team Brock signing out.